Yeah, no
Okay.
problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then
so-
go ahead, Mandy, with your introduction.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the final episode of the Applied HE Fireside Chat, How Time Flies. The theme for tonight's discussion is Professional Education Institutes and Research Institutes are more effective than comprehensive universities. My name is Mandy Mock, and I'm the founder and CEO of Applied HE. Applied HE is the new kid on the block with the aim of creating an alternative solution in ranking, rating, and branding that better serves the need of more learning and employability-focused applied universities, which I believe are dominant all over the world. In a nutshell, Applied HE is an international higher education service provider that specializes in evaluation, branding, marketing, and professional networking solutions. We are rooted in Asia, and we aim to positively disrupt the global higher education sector. Tonight's fireside chat is very unique. If you notice, all the speakers are women, and a very diverse group of women too, hailing from Hong Kong, France, Indonesia, and the UK. The fireside chat moderator, also a woman, is none other than the always charming and engaging Mrs. Winnie Ely. She is a partner at Education Insight UK and secretary to the governing board of CityU Tonghua at the City University of Hong Kong. Winnie will provide you with a full introduction of the speakers shortly. As Winnie is also from the CityU of Hong Kong, I thought it would interest you to know that Applied HE and the CityU of Hong Kong are jointly organizing this very special and exciting masterclass in 2 weeks' time on the 15th of December at 3:30 p.m. Singapore time. In this 90-minute webinar, CityU Hong Kong will demonstrate the possible model of knowledge transfer with its largest university-based entrepreneurship program in Asia, the Hong Kong Tech 300, which is an incubator organized by CityU for aspiring entrepreneurs among CityU students, alumni, and research staff. You can find out more on the 15th of December at 3:30 p.m. Singapore or Hong Kong time. Now I shall hand the stage over to Winnie. Over to you now, Winnie.
Thank you very much, Mandy. And thank you for the opportunity to moderate Fireside Chat for second year in a row and then
Yes.
end of the second year. So for everyone who joined us, welcome to the final episode of Applied HE Fireside Chat in 2021. For delegates who have been with us before, welcome back. And for delegates who join us for the first time, a very warm welcome. The Applied HE Fireside Chat brings to you a global panel of knowledgeable and passionate speakers on topical issues that we care about, but limited by open and trusted platforms to have a good conversation. It is designed to be cozy, relaxed, engaging, and at the same time serious, fun, provocative, thought-provoking, and blue sky, everything Mandy asked for. Most important of all, we welcome a lively interaction between our speakers and participants, which are invited to ask your questions once each of our 4 speakers have had their individual monologues on the topic. Today's topic, as Mandy mentioned, is professional education institutes and research institutes are more effective than comprehensive universities. How much do we know about the roles, missions, benefits to students and society, sustainability, funding, and business models of professional education institutions, research institutes, and comprehensive universities in Hong Kong, France, Indonesia, the UK, and beyond? Our first all-female panel in today's Fireside Chat is represented by amazing leaders in higher education across continents, and I cannot wait to introduce them. So here we go. Our first speaker, Professor Sally Chan, a good colleague, and more importantly, in her important role, she is the 3rd president of Tonghua College, Hong Kong. Prior to this appointment, she was the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Singapore and the Dean of School of Nursing and Midwifery at the University of Newcastle in Australia. Sally has more than 30 years experience in the university sectors in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Australia. Her career influences the tripartite mission of research, Education and Practice. In 2013, she was inducted as a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing. She has been listed among the top 2% scientists in a global list released by Stanford University recently. Sally, please.
Yeah, thank you, Winnie, for the very kind introduction. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you all over the world. It's indeed my honor to be invited to this very important event and to share my experience. So in the coming few minutes, what I will do is I will talk a bit about the Hong Kong higher education development, and then talk about the different types of universities, and then finally comment on tonight's topic. Yes, so in Hong Kong, during the 1670s, higher education, in fact, was an elite education. Only 2% of eligible students could get into higher education or universities. And during the 90s, it's better, 18% of eligible students could get into higher education. And this year, more than 38% of eligible students got an offer to first year, first degree places. So you can see there's a huge sort of improvement. And the number of higher education institutes in Hong Kong also has increased from 2 publicly funded universities to 22 now, both publicly funded and privately funded university. So I'm now working in one of the privately funded college in Hong Kong. And in Hong Kong, the higher education institute can be broadly divided into 4 types, which I believe is very sort of similar to other parts of the world. So the first is universities or higher education institute with an emphasis on liberal art education. For example, the Newman University in Hong Kong or the Princeton University in US. So there's a very solid education in liberal art in this institution. And the second type is professional institution, which with an emphasis on professional education, like Tonghua College that I'm currently the president, or MIT in United States. Because all our programs have to fulfill the requirement for professional accreditation. That's why general education courses usually are only a very small proportion in the overall curriculum. And the third type of university is comprehensive university, which the institute offer a variety of programs for students, both in undergraduate and postgraduate. And comprehensive university can also offer professional degree. So like the University of Hong Kong, they have degree in medicine, in nursing, or the UC Berkeley is also an example of comprehensive university. And last but not the least is specialized university, like the Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts in Hong Kong, or the Juilliard School in New York City in US, which they usually concentrate on a single subject. And of course, you heard about research intensive university. So majority of the publicly funded university in Hong Kong claim to be research intensive. And so do the Group of 8 in Australia, or the Russell Group in UK, or the Ivy League in US, because a research performance is linked with the grants that the government provide to the university. And of course, it also linked to the world ranking. And you may be interested to know for our participant whether there's a teaching focus higher education institute in Hong Kong. What I would say is that during my past 30 years of experience in academic, I would say that all academics need to engage in research for 2 most important reasons. Because you need to integrate the most up-to-date knowledge into your teaching. And secondly, you need to progress the knowledge of your discipline. So there's no reason that academic do not engage in research. I remember when I was a very junior academic, my dean told me, if you only want to do research, go to a research center. And if you only want to teach, go to teach in high school. And if you want to do both, teaching and research, you come to a university or higher education institute. So I think that sort of is a very honest conversation. Yeah. And of course, all these are not mutually exclusive. Comprehensive university or institute or professional institute can also be research intensive or research active. And whether professional education institute are more effective than comprehensive or research institute, I believe that it is very important for us to understand our position. For example, for my college, Tonghua College, we are very clear that our niche is in healthcare education. So we are a professional education institute. We are not research intensive, but we are research active. So we demonstrate we have research capability because we understand that research is an important part in higher education. And we are a boutique college. We would not expect to expand like a comprehensive university or college that we have lots of discipline and we have lots of students. At present, we only have about 3,000 students, and we are happy about that. We will not expect that we would expand to 30,000 students. That is not our position. So our position in Hong Kong is that we are a boutique college that is good at healthcare education. What I can see is that those university or those higher education institute that fail to perform are those that do not have very clear position. Yeah, they do not know what they're good at. They try to do everything. Yeah, and if other people sort of have a certain program, then they follow. I have to have it. So then they are all over the place, and there's no niche in the institution. I believe, be it a professional education institute or research intensive institution or a comprehensive institution, you need to have your niche. You need to tell people what you are good at. For example, the National University of Singapore, they are good at engineering. So when you talk about NUS, you think about engineering. For example, in University of Hong Kong, we always associate with it with medicine. At Tonghua College, people usually associate us with nursing and also allied health. So if you can tell people or demonstrate your niche and you are good at the discipline that you are good at, then students will come to you, people will come to you for your expertise. So that's why I don't think one type of institutions is more effective than the other. The most important is that you need to position yourself and then focus on your niche and do well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. A very succinct history of higher education in Hong Kong and a clear message about niche and what you're good at. Thank you. I'm sure we'll open up a good discussion and question later on. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is French. Now, getting a bit nervous. So I've just asked for your forgiveness for my non-existent French, and feel free to have a laugh at my expense. Karen, I'm not going to pronounce your last name. You do it later yourself. Karen is the director of the Executive Master Program. Again, this is a difficult name. Help me out later. And Karen's been back to France in December 2018. She started her career in higher education at Venus University in Jakarta in Indonesia in 2008 as a lecturer. During her 10 years at Venus University, she has been in charge of the first EPAS accreditation in Indonesia, head of an international business bachelor program, and the director of international industry partnership, international office, and QS ranking strategy. They definitely make you work very hard at Venus. And Karen graduated from ESG Paris with a master in international business. Her previous European corporate experience was in international business at Amor Pacific in Paris, France, and supply chain management at Toyota Europe in Brussels, Belgium. Karen, please.
Thank you, Winnie. So I will say it in French. So my name is Karen Perronin, and I work at École des Ponts Paris Tech. So that's very French. And And I'm pleased and honored to be invited and to be in the panel today. So with my very nice accent, French accent, I will try to explain the French context. It is as well, in my experience, has always been very difficult for foreigners to understand. But because we're French anyway, so that goes together with our personalities and the culture of France. So we can say that higher education system is a dual system in France. So there is on one side the universities that are in a number of 73 public universities at the moment. And on the other side, there are schools. So what we could as well say colleges, right? In other countries, in some other countries. So those schools became what we call from the biggest or the strongest one became the grande école, or the higher schools in a parallel system at the end of the 18th century after the French Revolution. And that was the aim of those schools, were really to be able to develop the competencies needed to rebuild the country, and to make sure that more students will have access to good as well, to good education, and be able to get skills that are very specific. So, for example, engineering schools, most of the engineering schools are under specific ministries. They're not under the Ministry of Higher Education. So if we're going for my school, we're under the Ministry of Transition écologique of, before was the Ministry of Transport and Construction. And in order to be able to build or to develop engineers that will be able to build the countries, and that could be the road, the bridges, and of course the tunnels, and all the air, the train systems, and so on. You have as well, of course, the schools that are under the Defense Ministry, the Health Ministry, and so on. And that's what we call the Grandes Écoles. The business school and business and management schools are as well under the Chamber of Commerce, and it's as well very specific. And then only the universities are really 100% under the Ministry of Higher Education. That doesn't mean that our degrees, the degrees in the other schools, are not as well recognized by the Ministry of Higher Education, of course. Yeah, but that's that means as well that we work in with a strategy that will help our own ministry. And what is important, I think, is as well that research at the university level, but as well at the Grandes Écoles level, is as well very strong. And if we're saying, or we're looking at the ranking, then we can see that we have really half of the highest ranked French institution or universities, and half of the others are schools. I guess that the difference will be that in the engineerings or in the schools, then we have more applied research than what we can have in the universities level. However, in terms of teaching, universities are accessible to everyone. So 60% of the students are going to universities, even if we do have only 73 universities. And the rest of the students will go to some of the schools, or very well-known top schools that are required, that are very selective. And usually the top schools will require to have 2 years preparation, and out of those 2 years preparation, then you will be selected again. And then we have a huge number as well of specialized schools that could be schools in art, but as well what we call architecture school as well. And it could be journalism, communication school, and that is and we have up to 3,000 specialized schools in France. So totally 3,500 institutions, higher education institutions, 73 universities. And then you have, there are around 400 schools that are really focused on engineers, business and management, veterinary and architecture and arts. And then after you have 3,000 other specialized schools. PhD degree is how do you say, available or given, or how do you say that, only by universities or by what we call doctorate schools. So some of the engineering school or business schools can as well have the possibility to give or to have a doctorate program or a PhD program. However, they have to work as well with together with some specific research centers, their own or even mixed research centers that are linked to a university. So there is, so you see that's very, for us, it's very clear. For you, I guess it's not clear. But the point is, yes, the point is research is still very important and is more and more important. And then even if the school is very selective, then you can see that they have high requirement for research, and then their research center is very strong, even if they do not have their own PhD degree. And that is as well a very specificity of France. So we have in École des Ponts, we have 12 research centers, but we only have this year, we newly launched, or we newly get back our doctorate or PhD degree. But that's our research centers have more than 400 researchers, of course, and then all the research centers are linked and have as well PhD students, but that comes from different universities that will be tutored or with a researcher that is either linked researcher from the school, from École des Ponts, or a researcher that is from another university within a mixed ownership of the research center. So that's mainly why I guess that's the most important in research when we are looking at the French context, is that it has to be linked to industry. And then whoever is doing, who have a research center will be strong if they have industry funding and if they have applied research linked to industry needs. And so it's not always the degree itself, the PhD degree that will give the visibility of the school, but mainly the number of research and the number of partners, industry partners that are doing research with that schools, or the centers, the research center of the schools. I think on my side, I will look forward to question at the end, and then looking forward as well to listen to my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. I always wanted to hear from a French person with a French accent, obviously. Such rich context, and I'm scribbling away, so I will have quite a lot of questions, and I'm sure our speakers in the audience will have as well. So thanks, Karen. Our next speaker is, again, dare I pronounce your name, Professor Newman. So I'll address you as Professor Newman. Is Vice Rector for Research, Innovation and Community Development at University Airlangga in Indonesia. Professor Newman is also University's Airlangga's coordinator of COVID-19 research product. She's an active researcher and an experienced administrator with extensive experience in international partnerships. She was head of Center for Biomolecular Engineering, academic director, and Executive Director of Alumni's Global Engagement. Currently, she is also a member of Indonesia Chemical Society, Indonesia's Protein Society, and ASEAN Microbiology Network and Utilization. Professor Newman, please.
Thank you, Winnie. So good evening, everybody, for all the participants, also the panelists. So my name is Newman. It's my pleasure to join with this opportunity, and thank you to Mandy Mock for inviting Universitas Erlangga, representing by myself. So it's very glad to see all of you know each other to share also regarding to the higher education. So from Hong Kong, I'm already learning about what already mentioned by Sally, and also in the France by Karen. How about Indonesia? I think Indonesia is not so really different with Malaysia, Singapore, and also Thailand, because we are in the ASEAN country. So we are also the part of the ASEAN University Network. And of course, at that time, we more often to discuss each other about higher education. So then I would like to share regarding to the Indonesia itself for conducting the higher education. So in Indonesia, I think it's more unique, Winnie and all the participants, because we are put the community study or community services or development in our learning process. So in Indonesia, in higher education, we have three pillars. Yes, we have three pillars for education, research, and community services or development. So the three pillars is the policy from our government. So of course, with the Ministry of Education, Culture, and just recently, our Ministry of Research, the Ministry of Research and Technology already merged to the Ministry of Education and Culture. So now becoming Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. So what it means then? It means that the higher education is now very important, not only about academic, but also research and community development. So then in this topic, the professional institution and the research institution is more effective than comprehensive university. So it's exactly what Indonesia also thinking about. The comprehensive university also need to more active in research and also community. So why then Indonesia have three clusters or three categories for the higher education in the meaning of the three pillars: education, research, and community development, by divided into three special learning process. The one is academic, and the second one is professional, and the third one is vocational. So professional and vocational, I think, is almost the same, because they have a special needs, special skill, yeah, for their during their study, like medicine, medical doctor, dentist, veterinary, medical doctor, and then nurse, nursing and midwifery, and also pharmacy. We have the professional about the pharmacy graduate. We call it apotheker. Apotheker is more really have a professional on regarding to drug discovery and development. Also, we are also doing like vaccine. I hope next January, our vaccine from Universitas Erlangga, the national consortium, will be started for the clinical trial. This is, I think, the one in our experience in Indonesia to produce vaccine by ourselves. And then of course, also we have the academic. So Universitas Erlangga, for example, is part of my university. We are comprehensive university. So then learning by the like professional institute or research institute, and also the vocational Then Indonesia try the university that they are comprehensive university. We have also professional, we have vocational, we are very comprehensive then, but how we can then increasing or improving our student in academic study. They come from academic study. It's very different with the professional and also vocational. So now we have like, we call it Merdeka Belajar, Kampus Merdeka. So this is the new policy from our government, our ministry. And we are in our Universitas Erlangga, we have SMART. SMART is mean of the SMART. The S is mean sustainable education for all. So the lifelong learning is also very important. That the graduate is still learning about so many things about in a community, entrepreneurship, industrial skill, and any others. And then the next one also, the M and the A is very close with the meaningful M, meaningful of research and community development, to make the impact of a university research, what the research topic that they do, it will be give the impact to our society. This is the important thing. And then the A, the SM and A, the A it's been advantaging the linkage with the industry, with the entrepreneur, and also of course with the government, the stakeholder, yes. And then with this kind of the three pillar of the higher education, with the three category of special education of academic, professional, and vocational. So we are also then designing the Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka in our higher education now in Indonesia. So it's mean that independent Merdeka Belajar, it's mean independent for students to learn. They can free learning anywhere. So it's mean will be collaboration among universities in Indonesia, universities in all of the world, and also industrial. So then the Merdeka Belajar is is independent learning for students and also independent campus. That is encouraging our student, our graduate, because at the last period, before the new Ministry of Education in Indonesia, the last period, we have analyzing the gap. So the gap of our academic graduate is more in the employability. So why employability is take very attention with us. So then why we then conducting now the Merdeka Belajar and Kampus Merdeka, or independent learning for students and independent campus. So campus, it will be more engaged with other university in Indonesia and also overseas university. So for that, then we what kind of the independent campuses and independent learning can be offered to our students to study beyond their campus. So then we now we do like not only student exchange. I think student exchange is already done several years ago, yeah. But we are now is more focusing on how students can bring their knowledge to the society by community outreach program, or COP. Yeah, we call it COP. So the community outreach program, it can be done by research-based or project-based or evidence-based to the community study based learning. I think this is also more important to make our student is open mind, yes, open their mind, and they will have their competency is not only by themselves, but they will be also have like creativity thinking, critical thinking, communication, and also collaboration is more important now, not competitive, but collaboration. I think this one is also the meaning of the competency of the student or the graduate. And don't forget, because now digitalization is more increasing among our young people or millennial, but don't forget also to give them the competency of compassion, the humanity, yes, relationship among them. So the community study is then becoming important. So for this kind also, we then trying to give our student experience or learning experience with the community. So then we can do by internship program, we can do by like industrial linkage for this like what we call it, internship in industry, internship in the government, and then also study with the community, society. It's like not only triple helix, yeah, I think also pentahelix, or now we call it also hexahelix, or yeah, similar like that. I think more helix, and helix. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Newman.
Yes.
Perhaps I think the key theme I'm picking up there is society, community, university playing a key role.
Yeah.
And we'll explore a bit of that, because I think our three speakers so far, they have very different sorts of themes within their system that we can unpack later on. So thank you.
Yeah, this is the one for the comprehensive university that becoming no more open their out of the box of their thinking about because the professional and research institutes is already have their special skill.
Thank you.
Comprehensive will be like integrated for the hard skill and soft skill. I think that one in my speech this evening. Thank you very much, Winnie.
Thank you, Professor Newman. We'll come back to the discussion more in depth later.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, our final speaker, Professor Mary Stiasny. Mary is the Pro-Vice Chancellor International Teaching and Learning at University of London in the UK. Prior to becoming Pro-Vice Chancellor International Teaching and Learning, Mary provided strategic direction and leadership at the Institute of Education in her capacity as Pro-Director with responsibility for learning, teaching, and international. Working life for Professor Stiasny began as a secondary school teacher in West London. She then joined Goldsmiths College, where she was involved in initial teacher education, becoming Director of PGCE and Deputy Head of the Department of Educational Studies. This was followed by her move to Oxford Brookes University, where she was appointed Deputy Head of the School of Education. She then returned to London to become Head of the School of Education and Training at the University of Greenwich. Mary then spent 4 years at the British Council as Director of Education, where we met, Education and Training, by the way, that's the former title, before joining the Institute of Education. Throughout her career, Professor Stiasny has worked to both deliver and promote quality, accessible education across the world. Mary, please.
Thank you very much. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's lovely to be with you. Can I apologize, first of all, though, I don't have the wonderful background behind me because I rushed in from a meeting and literally had to switch on. So my apologies. Please forgive me, everybody. I'm kind of jealous because everybody else has it. So, so please forgive me. So last but not least, as Winnie said, thank you, Winnie, I want to follow my colleagues with a few reflections of my own. I have, in fact, worked in both professional institutes, professional education institutions with research-rich strands, and in comprehensive universities. So I've worked in a range of different UK universities. And in my view, the issue is not one or the other. But let me just dwell for a moment on UK and the institutions in the UK. In the UK, we have a great focus on the importance of research performance by a university, whether it's a multiversity, whether it's a research-rich institution, or whether it is, in fact, a professional institution. There is an intention that they all have a research background, a research engine, if you like. And nowadays, there is also a teaching excellence focus. So if an institution has students, there is a focus on the teaching excellence or a rating for the teaching excellence of that institution. And we have a focus on both through national performance measures. And then perhaps thirdly, and again, not last but not least, perhaps most importantly, there is an emphasis on student ratings. So we have an annual national student survey, which students are asked to take. And those again are national ratings and they are made public. So we do have research intensive, we have research active, Sally's definition of the two or separation of the two. We have comprehensive, we have professional education institutions, but increasingly, I would say, over the years that I have been in higher education, we've seen mergers and combinations of all of those into the large multiversities which form the backbone of UK higher education. And I will come back on that with a little story about that later. But as I said, I think the important way to see this is that for me, the issue is not one or the other, not professional, not research intensive or research active, and not just multiversities. It seems to me the issue is the quality of the provision, the purpose of the education, and the richness that each brings to the other. In a sense, and I think my colleagues have emphasized this, they bring strength, they bring depth, and they bring dimension to each other. The teaching, the multiversity approach brings, if you like, a dimension to the research. The research brings knowledge and understanding to the professional. They interact together. Research benefits from the experience of practice, and practice is underpinned from the dimensions and vision that research brings. My own university, which Winnie mentioned, the University of London, is in fact very unique because it's a federation of 17 institutions. Some of them are multi-faculty, huge, comprehensive institutions, which are world-renowned. Some of them are highly focused research institutes. Some have practice and professional education only, and some have research and practice together. The institutions of the University of London, the Federation, can offer, therefore, distance learning programs through my department, my section of the university. We are in the central part of the University of London, and we provide the distance learning platform working across the university's federation. We provide an infrastructure, we provide learning design, we provide quality and quality measures, we provide the assessment regime, and the member institutions, members of the federation, provide the academic direction of that program, of each program. And we work with a range. We work with the single subject institutions, and that's a particularly interesting challenge if we're offering distance learning degrees for example, performing arts programs. We provide massive open online courses for research-focused institutions. And where there are multiversities or comprehensive universities, we offer a range of programs. We work in partnership with them to offer a range of programs, from undergraduate through postgraduate, and now increasingly short courses and professional education. So let's come back to the original question. Which is the most effective? The Professional Education Institute, the Research Institute, are they more effective than comprehensive universities? Is it one or the other? And I have to say at this point, when I was thinking about what I was going to say, I kept coming back to this. If I ever have appendicitis, I would wish to be operated on by a surgeon, by a doctor who has been well trained professionally, has professional expertise, skill, and excellence, but is also influenced and shaped by the latest research thinking about how best to make an appendectomy less invasive, less debilitating. I want my doctor, my surgeon, to have been through all of it. Professional training, research intensive, and if that is provided in a multiversity, brilliant, that's great. Or coming back to where I started, as a teacher trainer, as a teacher and then a teacher trainer, I would want my children to be taught by a teacher who has been trained well enough in professional circumstances to control a class of excited small children, as well as having the knowledge and skills that rest on and are nurtured by excellent research. So I think what I'm saying is I want both, and it seems to me that the both benefit the end user, the child or the student, or indeed society. Coming back to the point that was just made, society needs the both. My university then, as a federation, can provide a variety of experiences for students and staff. The outcomes for students are strong, both from professional and from research-intensive institutions. And it's this very variety that characterizes, to my mind, a university. After all, education and indeed knowledge do not exist in single, narrow, delineated structures, but rather flow one from another and benefit from the enhancements. And also, to be fair, the contradictions which arise from the cross-fertilization of knowledge exchange. I said I'd come back to this story, if you like, some history. In the UK, before 1980, teachers for primary schools were trained in teacher training colleges. They were often very small. They were highly professionally focused. They were very much classroom focused. There was very little, if any, theory. And then in the 80s, it was national policy to close or merge those colleges, to move them into larger groupings or into, if you like, multi-faculty universities. It was the time of the rationalization of initial teacher training. At that time, it became an all-graduate profession, and students had to study for 3 years instead of 2. But they were either studying after that period in large multiversities where they studied theory and practice, or in combinations of teacher training institutions, all of which became stronger and stronger in research. Now, what is very interesting is that in recent years in our country, there has been a shift. You can still train to become a teacher in that way, but there's also been a shift to train on the job. And there has been what we call graduate teacher programs, where students can train with a practicing teacher. They will get some theory, they will get some research knowledge, but the focus is back to being on the classroom. So I think what I'm saying is that this is actually a constant debate. It's an ever-changing situation. It's never ending. It's not one or the other. It's a combination and a free-flowing combination of all of them. So I go back to my original statement. I would rather be operated on by a well-trained surgeon whose skills and techniques are fully informed by research. I'm going to end with a footnote, though. As we've just heard, the importance of lifelong learning becomes more and more important. And certainly in the UK, this is a major focus now. And universities and colleges are being asked to look at how we can facilitate and benefit students through lifelong learning. So there's a concept. It's also not only that one type of institution benefits the other, it's also that learning never ends. It's continuous. You can continue right into the future. So thank you very much. And obviously my lifelong learning technique lesson today has to be to go away and learn how to put the background on very quickly. But thank you very much. And it's lovely joining everybody today.
Thank you very much, Mary. I just noticed I have to go on training for my background too, because I cater for mirror image. Right, get back on the topic. I have learned so much from all our 4 speakers, and I'm sure the audience and the Apply HE, he will be agreeing with me. Before we open up to questions from the participants, I'm wondering if our speakers have any observations or any questions for the fellow speaker that you want to raise here.
I don't have any question, just a comment. Yeah, I think all over the world, we are moving in very similar direction, you know. Yeah, we focus on research. We believe that is very important in higher education. And sorry, I can't pronounce the name. Newman, is it?
Newman.
Newman, yeah. You
Yeah.
talk about community services, yeah.
Yeah.
So we are also sort of focusing a lot on community services, and students have to engage in
Yes.
voluntary work, community services, and also we have to develop a relationship with our industry and form partnership and all that. I think that is the trend all over the world, you know. And Mary also mentioned about teaching excellence. Yeah, I think that is also sort of common around the world. I remember when I was in Australia, University of Newcastle, we also have the National Graduate Survey, and it is so transparent. Everybody knows how the graduates rate our university. Yeah, and what I'm thinking is that we have to really look at what are the purpose of higher education. For me, there are three. Yeah, the first is the application of knowledge. We apply knowledge in the community. Second is transfer of knowledge. We teach, we publish, and all that. And the third is the sort of the discovery of knowledge. So by research and all that. Yeah, I believe all of us agree that, that is the main purpose of higher education. And of course, with all that, students are always the center. In the education, you know. Without students, there's no need for us to be here, you know. We can just form some research center. So we always have to put the student at the center. That's my comment. Not a question as such. Thank you, Winnie.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you very much, Sally. I do have one for Karen. Like you said,
I think,
it's very clear to you.
I think there are one participant raise hand. Winnie.
Yeah,
I look. I think the one I look is Abdul Momin.
Abdul Momin.
Yeah, we can go with Karen. I'll come back to you. Abdul Momin, would you like to come in? I have unmuted your microphone, so
Abdul Momin Rizwan Ahmad. I saw in this list of the participant. So he raised him.
I have unmuted his microphone. Would you like to raise
your... He can unmute himself.
Still mute?
No, he's already unmute.
Is it?
No, still mute.
Oh, still mute.
Still mute because the red color.
Still mute.
But I have...
So Abdul, can you unmute yourself?
Abdul, can you unmute?
So maybe... while we're waiting for him or her to do that, can I just go to Karen? Obviously, Karen, you said different universities report to or accountable to different ministries. It makes perfect sense. But in a way, it does sound quite complicated. And I would imagine in some countries would want to do the same, but a lot of them actually moving to the direction of or under the Ministry of Education. But in France, do you ever have that conversation or debate that it should be all under one ministry?
No. Well, there is discussion, but that's old tradition, and as well because we still believe that some of it's not the universities, but it's really the school, very specific. So that means engineering school or some of the veterinary schools, or that are very highly selective, and then really applied on research as well, that are under those specific ministry. And but they still, as well, we follow the rules of the Ministry of Higher Education. But the ministry that as well, the budget, I would say, or the subvention, the subsidies that we because we are public as well, state-owned, still state-owned schools, then the subsidies that we receive comes from the Ministry of the industry, specific industry, and not the Ministry of Higher Education. So, and we still do follow the certification of course, of one main governance, one main body for all engineering school will be under one main certification, the same certification that is as well then an independent body and answer the same or have the same rules for all the engineering school, even if they are under different ministries. But we don't, it's not going to move or to change in the very near future. No.
Right, thank you. I'll now, thank you very much, Karen. I'll try to go back to Abdul to see if
Still muted.
he has been given permission though.
And he's still mute.
I actually
Winnie, I think you gave permission, but he's not unmuting or yeah. I think you need
can
to
he
find
do it
another
himself?
person. Yeah, he needs to do it himself. You can't.
Abdul, are you
force him to
hearing
speak.
us? Can you do that yourself? I think we have to. I have to move on from there. So we do still have another question along the vein from, and I think Peter, you answered that. There was one question from Shaliza Abraham to everyone, and she said, very interesting how the schools are organized under respective ministries in France. Are this tertiary or secondary education? And I'll imagine it's tertiary education. Karen?
Yes, it's so it's we go from just after the senior high school until so PhD. So that's mean all the level of the secondary and tertiary education is there.
Thank you. We only have 4 minutes left because if you notice today, I did not stop any of you. I just let you go because this is our final episode. We're celebrating. So your moderator's been really moderate tonight. That means we actually need to come to your last word or your last call for action or your reflection. And we're going to do it in reverse order. So we're going to start with Mary, then Newman, and Karen, then Sally, in that order. And I'll shut up from now until you finish. So thank you.
So from me, I think my reflection is really about the strength and power of knowledge and the importance of it, how it empowers those of us who learn and empowers us. The way we use it then becomes important. So I think that then reflects back on this importance of professional education, research, and the way they interact, because how we use that knowledge that we learn, whatever sort of institution it's in, how we use that knowledge is of vital importance for the future of society. And I think we've seen that, have we not, in the pandemic with the development of vaccinations.
Okay, for me, yes. I think learning, for me, I think learning experience with the community also is very important for the higher education, especially to be lifelong learning, as already mentioned also by Professor Mary. So that one says make more our students have like social responsibility to the society with the so many issues. That also happening in the society regarding to like now in pandemic COVID-19 in Indonesia, the student also can educate it because Indonesia, we are archipelago country. We have so many islands. So we have also remote area or remote island that especially we are very dynamic in culture. Because we are multicultural also. So like for example, for vaccination program, it's not easy in our country. So not all of our people also would like to vaccinate it. So especially in the remote area, because they have their own culture. So this one student learning with the society will be the important thing to strengthening the student competency, social responsibility, and also doing for their lifelong learning. I think this is from me. Thank you.
Thank you. For me, I think I would say that there is still one big challenge that we have to solve, is that the diversity, access to the schools that are very selective to more diverse students, and that doesn't mean that their level of knowledge or scientific knowledge or competencies is lower, but the way we are structured and organized make it very selective and very narrow in the society. And that is a debate that has been going on for years now. But I would say that, yes, it's very crucial that universities, comprehensive universities, if they are research focused or not, are able to as well reach or give opportunities to all different kind of students from different level in the society. So that's very, thank you.
And no matter what institutes that we educate people, we want them to be a T-shaped professional. T, so the vertical line is the depth of the professional knowledge. They should have the knowledge to solve the professional problem. They also have to have the horizontal line, the breadth of knowledge. That is what we all talk about, the critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, communication, and lifelong learning skills, and also the digital sort of literacy now. Yeah. And whatever graduates that we educate, we prepare, I would like them to be a competent professional as well as a socially responsible citizen. I think that is the responsibility of higher education.
Thank you very much, Sally, Karen, Newman, and Mary. And for friends and colleagues who join us tonight, I hope you have a great time and you have enjoyed it. And I'm sure you also, sympathize with the importance of quality and the role of university in society. Before we go, I just want to say thank you again to all of you and also to the Applied HE team, because Mandy, Peter, and Simon working very sort of hard behind the scenes to bring this to all of us. And to all of you who join us from different parts of the world, thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you again in the new year. So back to you, Mandy.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for this very interesting discussion. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Please allow me to express my deep appreciation to our wonderful speakers and moderator for their time and contributions. And also thank you, our participants, for joining us for this fireside chat. This is the last fireside chat for the year. And while this marks the end of this particular webinar, we have many more events lined up in the months to come. Today's event marks the last fireside chat for 2021. However, we have a whole new series planned for 2022, with the first one starting on the 6th of April next year. As you can see, we already have the whole year's themes mapped out, and the first one to kick it off is the theme on the future shape of sustainable partnerships. We also have another regular series of webinars alternating monthly with fireside chats, and that is Squaring the Circle debate, with the first episode scheduled to start in March next year. Both our webinars are always on the first Wednesday of the month and always at 8 p.m. Singapore time. So please look out for our emailers. And as mentioned in my opening, we are organizing this very special and exciting masterclass jointly with CityU Hong Kong. To harness the benefits of scientific discovery, it is necessary to translate innovation and research results into practical applications. In this 90-minute webinar on the 15th of December at 3:30 Singapore or Hong Kong time, CityU Hong Kong will demonstrate the possible model of knowledge transfer with its largest university-based entrepreneurship program in Asia, the Hong Kong Tech 300, an incubator organized by CityU Hong Kong for aspiring entrepreneurs amongst CityU's students, alumni, and research staff. The program aims to create 300 startups, hence the name Hong Kong Tech 300, in 3 years. It not only provides educational and growth opportunities for CityU students, it also translates CityU's research results and intellectual properties into practical applications. So come and meet Professor Christian Wagner and his team and learn firsthand of how CityU of Hong Kong became a powerful force in the innovation-driven economy of Hong Kong and Greater China. We will be sending the emailers to all of you soon. Please sign up for this series of innovative masterclass. Yes, these masterclasses is a series that will stretch over to next year, and 15th of December is the first masterclass to start, so don't miss it. Aside from webinars, Applied HE does a lot of other things as well. We are now in the process of preparing the Applied HE Private University Ranking ASEAN, which is scheduled to be released early next year. The Applied HE Private University Ranking is tilted towards teaching and learning and employability, which are the main strength of private universities. Private universities are often highly innovative, high quality institutions that serve a large group of students, but they're often undervalued in other research-heavy university rankings. We are evaluating private universities based on their key strengths, and we hope to shine a light on this often overlooked sector. We also launched the world's first composite world university ranking called the Rankometer in January of this year. This is a new ranking that is based on one single and transparent benchmark. To be precise, the Rankometer is a composite ranking of the world's 5 most influential world university rankings. So please look out for Rankometer 2.0 in the first quarter of 2022 for some very interesting results. In addition to launching the Rankometer in January this year, we also launched Future, the world's first professional networking platform created specially for the higher education sector. And Future aims to connect everyone from high school to professional career to lifelong learning for the 3 E's. And they are education, employment, and everything in between. These are the most important career milestones in life, from the moment you are a high school student to being a student in higher education, to being a successful graduate, employer, entrepreneur, or even an alumni donor. And for ease of use, Future operates just like any other social media. The difference is Future provides all the relevant stuff that is important to the higher education sector, like news and information that's related to universities, courses, scholarships, internships, research collaboration, student and faculty exchanges, resumes, jobs, industry news, lifelong learning, alumni engagement and management, and even networking at all stages of your life. In short, eventually, Future will include the entire higher education and career experience, from leaving high school to retirement. So think of Future as the passport for life. It's free, and it is the only professional networking platform you'll ever need. So please sign up for Future and encourage your friends, your peers, and even your students to sign up too. Recently, we launched a new feature in Future, and that's Alumni Engagement and Management Service. Institutions of higher learning in many parts of the world have long underestimated the value of their alumni network. And we all know that investing in alumni relations can provide a high return on investment for an institution. A strong alumni engagement strategy is not built overnight, but fortunately, we can help your institution get started. And to give you a heads up, we are now in the process of building an alumni relationship management system to help you manage your alumni more efficiently. And this again is a complimentary service. So do look out for the launch in the first quarter of next year. And to start off now, simply go to Future and sign up as a user, and you can start connecting, engaging, and managing your alumni from near and far. If in doubt, please ask us for a demo. We can easily connect via Zoom. Next, we have our e-newsletter, Extra. This means we can now promote your institution's news to your global target audience. So please send us your extraordinary news and press releases or you can upload it yourself onto Future. It's yet another complimentary service from Applied HE, so do take advantage of it. And I'm pleased to say Applied HE now has 3 rating systems. They serve as benchmarks and marketing tools to your institution's quest for global branding and excellence. We have the all-round job-ready rating system to evaluate the quality of teaching and learning and employability of your graduates. An English-ready rating to evaluate the quality of English language instruction in non-English speaking countries. It's also a great marketing tool for the recruitment of international students. And the online-ready rating, which helps your institution benchmark and promote its online programs and courses. So do reach out to us if you would like to learn more about how these tools can translate into affordable strategies for global branding and marketing of your institution. And last but not least, as you know, we are the new kid on the block, we still are, and we're very grateful for all the support that we can get, which is why I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge all our very supportive webinar partners. A big thank you for the valuable support given to Applied HE. Right, thanks very much everyone, but please do not leave the room yet. This is the Applied HE signature sign-off. We want to invite you to experience a networking experience that is as creative and as close as we can get to a physical networking environment. So we're going to open the room now for a few minutes so that you can all see each other, say hi, introduce yourself, have a chat. You can also leave your name and contact in the chat box, or even with a message of your intention if you wish. This is as much as we can do for now in the name of networking. So please turn on your cameras, get a drink in hand and relax. Over to you now, Simon, to get our social media event started. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hi, I'm just standing in a little bit for Simon. We seem to be having some technical difficulties, actually. We had more than 100 registrations and we've had relatively few attendees, I'm afraid. And we seem to be having the same problem getting attendees into the room with video camera. So we're very sorry that the party is going to be a bit smaller this evening. Yeah, so our apologies for that. And I also cannot switch off my horrible background, which is turning my face pink. But we managed to get Lisa, who we did get on camera. So that's our only person whose camera we managed to switch off. Sorry
that's
about
a
that.
shame. We were ready to mix up and to mingle.
Exactly. With a drink in hand.
Yeah, I'm drinking. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's 2 p.m. for me, right? So I will drink, drinking soft.
Do you start that early, Karen?
Yeah.
I have
It's
to wait
different
a
for
little
7 hours. The difference with Indonesia is 7 hours. Okay.
bit. 6 hours? No, 7 hours. So 7
6
hours,
hours.
to Singapore. 6 hours with Indonesia.
Okay. 6 hours.
All right, yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's 8 hours with UK now.
Yeah.
The clocks have turned, right?
Exactly.
So that's 2 o'clock around here.
Yes. So
2
that's
p.m.
why.
Right.
Mary,
So-
is it very cold in London?
Very cold. I've been wearing my coat all morning. In my office, in the building.
In the office.
Oh my gosh.
I wore my coat we had a management meeting all morning and I've been wearing my coat all morning.
How is the COVID there in the UK? Is increasing now, Professor Mary? The COVID,
Sorry?
the COVID-19,
COVID,
the cases of COVID.
it's going up because children are getting it in schools now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now a new variant is coming, Omicron.
Yeah. But that we have much stricter restrictions back now.
Yeah.
Try and keep that under control. How is it everywhere else?
Yeah, we are sort of, we in Hong Kong, we never sort of open the border and all that.
Yeah.
So all the way, we have already tight control.
Yeah.
So we don't have community cases as such, but it's imported cases. Yeah.
In Indonesia, is now decreasing, but we also more keep attention for the Omicron, the new variant.
Okay.
what is interesting, when children get it, they're not getting it badly.
Yeah. And I believe with vaccination, even those who got it, they are symptomless, Yeah, appears have very mild effect. Yeah,
which is good.
And
How is
can
it in
I ask
France?
you a question?
Oh, hi, Saliza.
Yeah, hi, I'm from Malaysia, University Malaya.
Oh, University
I like-
Malaya.
Yeah, I think we met Prof. Newman. One meeting we had.
Yes.
I like to know the master class. Is it free of charge or is it?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
We will be sending the link to you, so please let all your friends know as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Interested to join that one. Yeah.
Right.
Very nice
hate
to
the
see you,
research and management.
Salisa.
Sorry.
Very nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to
Salisa.
see you. Nice to see everyone here.
Yeah, please give my best regard to Prof. Yong.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
So we will.
I'm still intrigued by the French organization of the colleges, under the respective ministries. In a way, it's good because sometimes, I guess, but you did say that everybody follows the Ministry of Higher Education guidelines for the year.
Exactly. Yeah, there is. Because the degree is still given by the Ministry of Higher Education.
Who is it?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So even if we are, that's, but don't worry too much. The most important is you choose what specialty you want to study, and then you go for it. I think if we try to understand too much, then we get lost.
It's a really complicated system.
But what is interesting there is that the funding comes from the ministry. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been very nice, or ladies, sorry.
Yeah.
Ladies, it's been very nice.
Ladies again.
Well, because you have not allowed the men to come in.
No,
Peter, I
true
think
at
in
all.
the waiting
I
room
think
there are a
Ahmad
lot
is
of
the-
men, but
I think Ahmad is the man. He is man. Abdul Momin.
So Peter's
But
not a
he's too
man.
shy. He's intimidated by all of your ladies.
Yeah, I think he's
Or he had to
shy.
take care of the children
he's
while you were
always
doing the
mute.
Zoom meeting.
Yeah, but he
This is
raised
why.
hand.
That wasn't the design, by the way. It's about including everyone, but celebrating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. We don't want
Good
to
to
put
see.
aside anyone.
I'm sure you haven't. Anyway, let's call it a night or an afternoon or a day or a very early morning. Thank you very much for joining, and see you guys next year.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So happy Christmas.
December.
Oh, in
See you.
in December 15th as well. Yes.
For the
Yeah,
Oh,
Merry
still
Christmas.
one. Okay, yeah.
Thank
But
you
for
very
those
much.
that
Thank you.
cannot
Thank
meet,
you very much.
Christmas, Happy New
Yeah,
Year.
also
See you next
Christmas, Happy
year.
Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.